That was 3 and 4.
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
1, 2, 3 and 4.
Is it popping?
Okay,
1,
I hear
2,
the sound now.
3 and 4.
I think we're good.
Hello.
Are we popping? Is it cracking?
Is it popping? Is it cracking?
It is popping and it is cracking.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Okay, all right.
It's Liddy Titty. Wow. I can hear every stream just coming through all at the same time. It's
Go ahead,
fantastic.
turn that down now. Now we know it works. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Now that we know we got the stream.
Wow. All right. It only took 3 minutes to sort out the obvious technical difficulties. Welcome everybody to ZUDECAST episode 2. We're talking about what are we talking about? Gamestonks.
Gamestonks.
Gamestonks,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's right. I'm a financial advisor.
Yeah.
As of 3 days ago, I'm Mr. Stonks. As
I'm
they
a
call
former
me.
victim of GameStop, speaking out against my experience and
Yeah.
you know what I experienced and how I feel now with the retribution that has come.
That's right,
It's a cold game.
man. Because that's the thing, is it really about saving GameStop, or is it about fucking up these hedge funds, or is it about getting rich, or is it about all three? We'll find out on this episode of ZUDECAST.
Ooh, right about now.
The Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Hell Yeah Brother.
The hell yeah, brother.
All right, hold the line, brothers.
All right. All right. So who's
So,
gonna
yeah.
kick off this NFL dealio talking
Yeah.
about the GameStonks?
Yeah, so I mean, like with your question just now, like, is it one of those or all three? I think it's definitely all of those and like more. I mean, everybody's just kind of like in awe of
Yeah.
the whole spectacle of the thing. I think.
It's a big hive mind.
Yeah,
Of
definitely.
shit.
So I don't think people are necessarily even buying in on those three premises. In some cases, they just want to be part of something, want to be part of the hype, and like
Yeah.
have something to do. Because fucking last year was terrible.
Yeah.
And this is sick. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It's the it's the first time I felt good about anything. Oh, before we forget, let's all like introduce ourselves again.
Oh yeah.
You know, for the
We'll start with Rob.
Yeah, I'm Robert. I'm a guy. Hi.
My name is
him.
Taba. I also go by Oku, and I'm also a guy. Yeah, pretty much.
word.
Okay, well, my name is Eli. I'm also known as Adrian Grody. I'm the creator of the Cosmic Lord comics. And yes, I've studied history at Sac State. And yes, that's not to
There
be
you
a
go.
and I'm a guy. I am a Zood, okay, guys? And
We're
you
all
guys have
Zoods.
both
We're all
failed the
Zoods.
test, by the way.
Right.
Talking
We're
about
all
you're a
Zoods down
guy.
here.
What the fuck? We're Zoods
Yeah.
around here, all right?
My apologies.
There we
Definitely
go.
a Zood.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Definitely
It's all
a
good.
Zood.
the
I'm sorry for
non-
coming in
yeah.
hot. But anyways, here we go.
And this fucking guy right here, this fucking guy's Angel Anarchy over here. Anarchy Photography in the house.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
And
okay.
who are you, Mr. Freaking Engineer over there?
I'm running the
Who's this guy
computers this
right
time. Well, we got to get some kind of unpaid intern to do this shit.
yeah.
I'm above this, but also I get my own cam, so y'all get to
That
see
part.
it.
There it is.
That part.
That's
So
the perk
that's cool.
right there. That's the perk.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick before we get back into all the topics, shouts out to Robert and Christian for putting out that EP they just finished up.
That is
That
true.
shit was fire.
It's fire.
Drinking with these.
That is true.
You
Check out,
already
yeah.
know I love that shit because I love drinking with these. I'm
That's
a goddamn
true.
deviant, so
That's
you
true.
know it is.
Nah.
Of course,
Yeah.
also shouts out to Scott and Howard and Travis as well.
That
Couldn't
is
have done
right.
it without those guys.
Yeah. Oh, and I seen you playing guitar on Camilla's music video a while
That's
back,
correct.
and that was lit
we
too.
got,
so
we got
shouts out.
okay, yeah, we got multiple plugs. Check out
Yeah, check
at,
out.
the So Very Band on Instagram for the new EP that we were all just or me and Robert and the rest of the band were all part of. That's very exciting. Like our first rock record that's actually done and released. I'm switching things around. Let's see. Yeah, and then I just did a video with a local artist, the very talented Camilla Covington. Check out that check out her YouTube page. The what's it called? Little Women. It's a fun tune.
Sweet.
Cool tune. R&B jams.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. That's the plugs.
All right. So
That's the
back to
plugs
the
right
back to the game stonks and the
So
So
stonk
the game
wars
stonks.
and the stonk wars.
So first of all, what is a stonk?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, but I know how motherfuckers is fighting over them.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a trip because like when I was in like 2011, I was like 16. I was gonna go take my driver's license test, but I needed to get my my fucking birth certificate.
Yeah.
And it was in L.A. in Orange County, so we had to go down there, and there was a fat Occupy Wall Street protest going on over there at that time. And I remember everybody thinking too, like, what the hell are these fools even going on about, like, and my parents always, they didn't really like explain it to me too well because, everybody's like, what's going on? What are you talking about?
Right.
And now it's like literally almost, that was like 2011. So it's 10 years later.
Yeah, straight
and
up.
10 years later, fucking internet internet surfer
hackers.
fools, hacker fools.
Who is this hacker?
Bedroom
4chan?
hackers. Fucking just went in there after all the protesting, all this sit-ins, all this stuff, just got hella dismissed by the Obama administration.
Ooh,
by the way,
very
too.
true,
So
very
everybody wants to really kind of talk like, oh, Democrats fight to close wealth inequality. Well, one of the biggest wealth inequality protests that was happening was going on during the Obama administration,
man.
and it's real. Come on, they really don't do a lot to close the gap there in my personal experience there from what I've seen. But just again, because we see this happening, we're back to that democratic control of the government, and you get bedroom hackers hacking in and straight squeezing the life out of the people that control these hedge funds.
Hackers, I would say, is a stretch.
No, and that's why I said bedroom hackers. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
just people just going in and doing stuff, and because once again though. Basically, it's just cool to see. I'm gonna snip it off
is.
right here for
It's
a
good
It's
to see.
really cool to see.
You'll love to see it.
In my lifetime, like I feel like I've seen like the arc come to like this is like like the first, like I saw that, and then I've
Yeah.
seen it like build up to this
Right.
now too. So that's super cool.
We're entering a new chapter, and I think it's kind of epic in the sense that I think the Gamestonks revolution has really like made people start to put aside the left versus right like differences. There's no Trump for everyone to focus on anymore. Now it's just Biden, and nobody really likes Biden that much.
Well,
There's some people just like that he's not Trump, but nobody's like really all about Biden in
Well,
the same
absolutely.
sense. So everybody's like, yeah, fuck these hedge fund guys. The Young Turks hate the hedge fund guys. Libertarians hate the hedge fund guys. Everybody,
But this is
everybody
really-
hates the hedge fund guys.
this is
They're like
really-
the '80s movie villain of every Stonks movie that I've never seen.
And that's why I like too, like you're starting to see like the line where it's like not even like a political line, but it's like a more like who's in league with who. Because again, you'll see like people being like, "Yo, this is good, fuck them," like, and the other people are like, "No, you can't just do that." No, it's because they got skin in the game, and they're like, "Ooh, like, you know what I mean?" Like, does that make sense? Like people who are saying, because again, there's like, oh, how white supremacist literally
Oh,
I was on, it was on one of my favorite things it's sad that one of my favorite news sources, what does it say?
I just
Oh.
order
yeah.
it's just whatever.
Getting food and getting some
some
sushi.
sushi.
Gonna eat some sushi live on air and be like
Yeah. Well,
so anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say, but go ahead.
yeah, I think it's starting to bring people together in a sense, because it's like nobody really likes the Wall Street hedge fund guys except other Wall Street hedge fund guys. Like it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, fuck them. It's like they're the ones that are going after all these companies predatorily in the first place.
Yeah, what I was gonna double back to again was I was saying it's sad that one of my most entertaining news sources is not the B, but literally there was an article that said it was like how white supremacists targeted a Jewish, stockholder on Holocaust remembrance time or whatever, and it's like just framing it to be like, and again, that's what I'm saying, like you're very clearly seeing like who is just a fucking shill, you know what I mean? Because the shills are out, it's just even shills are like, well, I can't even lie, this is sick, I mean, a lot of shills are saying that right now too, so.
Well, I think that's a good point, because there's been a lot of people that have been like labeled as Nazis or white supremacists or whatever over the last 4 years, and a lot of the time it's like, hey, sometimes people are fucked up, hateful people, but a lot of the time it's just like smear campaign trying to like shut someone down, shut the person down, instead of actually addressing their ideas that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. It's I guess now that it's like the regular, everyday stonk trader, instead of being just like, super, MAGA Q-tard people being called white supremacists. Now it's everyone. Now
Literally,
if you're on Robinhood,
if you fuck around on
That's
Robinhood,
right.
yeah, you classify into that,
So and everybody's kind of seeing past it. It's
Yeah,
it's like what? It's like, okay, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm a Russian asset now. Like I'm a Russian bot for buying GameStop stock. Like, it's like it's funny, who is called a conspiracy theorist, but then if you're on, late night comedy TV, you can just kind of say shit like that that has just zero basis in reality. And it's all good.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I personally think it's cool that people are kind of getting hip on the stocks and
Yeah.
just kind of just tapping into that, that the outlets, make some more income. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of cool
Definitely.
because a lot of my friends, they were kind of into that kind of stuff, and I wasn't really into it. I wasn't hip to it, but now that
Yeah.
this is happening, it's like it's opening people's eyes to seeing like different ways that they can kind of tap in. So
Yeah.
Of course, when people tap in to it and start figuring out how to make money, then that's when the powers that be are the people that
right.
Well,
control all the,
That's
the
when they-
capital. That's
yeah.
when they want to make those changes. You know?
in one swift motion too, I feel like that it really did, like, I mean, obviously I don't really know the details on how like much this did anything to actually kind of close any sort of inequality or anything, but like it was like a bigger gesture in one swoop of move of being like, look, people can get in on this system. We figured out how, we figured out a loophole, and just and again, like, with the internet being able to share that information hella fast, and everybody just saying fuck it, because again, there's not, most of the time people would be too busy to really think about something like this or really
Right.
put a gamble
That's
onto
true.
something
That
like
is
this.
true, for
But
sure.
these days, people are like, I don't really know. There's a lot of people out of work. There's a lot of people that are, again, who fucking knows with these stimmies. I still haven't
Yeah.
gotten either of mine.
Oh,
I'm
really?
I'm gonna try to do my taxes.
Did you do your taxes? Yeah.
I'm about to do them and get both.
You'll probably get 'em,
Hell,
hopefully.
That's what's up. I'm about to be
That's
balling.
right. Well, I
But-
hate that I'm relying on the stimmy checks. I hate that I'm stoked about the stimmy check.
I'll take it. Shit.
I'm like, I would have so much rather.
At this
yeah,
point,
oh no,
I'll
fucking
I'll
take
fucking
it.
take it, dude.
I
I
mean,
don't care.
well,
Everything helps at this point.
They've been
Government's
forcing
fucking-
us not to work, in our fullest capacity. So,
yeah.
I would have
Hours
much
getting
rather
cut,
made that $2,000 from playing gigs and doing, recordings and,
Yeah.
living my life.
Right.
But, I'll take it, even though it ultimately means that, like, we're just going further down the debt rabbit hole. And it's just, everybody's like, oh, no, but my 401k, my retirement account's hooked up in, these hedge funds. And it's like, yeah, well, it's like,
Was
and
it
all those
gonna be
hedge funds, what's there going to be left for when we're trying to, retire? There's
Well,
we're
it's
already
also
30
too-
trillion in debt.
It's
Like,
also too, like, at the
someone's
rate
gotta
of
pay the piper.
the rate of inflation right now, dude. Most of people's like hedge funds, bro, aren't gonna be worth dick by the time
Right.
you get up to that point, to being able to cash it out. And yeah, because straight up inflation's getting really bad too. Because again, everybody thinks like, oh, like, and everybody thinks like too, like, oh, like, we need more stimmies. We could just be, giving stimmies out, like. Yes and no, and I get it, because a lot of people are like, because I think everybody is seeing too, like, they are making it hard. They could just do it. You feel me? They could just be like, look, $600, everybody get. That's one thing, But instead, they're wrapping up all this stuff of COVID relief that's gonna go to all these fucking hospitals specifically, which are already misusing their, funds in the first place, And we took this load, like we were talking about earlier before the show started, that we really shut everything else down to help out the medical industry. But then they're the ones that are getting all the government relief, relief, whatever. They're getting the government support.
Right.
When again, this whole thing was to help them out in the first place.
When the average, retail worker or restaurant worker has been taking a huge L for the past year, trying to, and at first it was like, okay, 2 weeks, we'll chill out. And it just turned into, now we're looking at almost a year. It's pretty insane. And, but I think the problem with the inflation is that you have all this money being passed out to people. It's being taxed, and then it's being passed out to people at, record high amounts, but also have record low production. So it's like all these people are just like, I have this money. And a lot of people that are getting, there's not really a good way to sort it out. Like, oh, you get the stimmy check, you don't get the stimmy check. So there's a lot of people who get the stimmy check, and they're like, whatever, dude. I got $2,000 that I can just like throw down the fucking drain and just use it. It's like, you're telling me I can use that money to like bankrupt or like seriously fuck over a hedge fund, like
Dude.
even if you lose all that money, even if you're just like, all right, goodbye, $600 stimmy check, it feels better. It feels better than buying fucking, video games or whatever.
Well, exactly too. It's like a
Than
lot of
actual
people.
games
A
at
lot of people.
GameStop.
It's like, yeah, actual games too. Or it's like, oh, normally if we got like 600 from the government for whatever reason, people like to take money and travel and shit and do things with their money again. Now it's like,
Right.
people are just like buying guns and fucking up the stock market.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh
bullets.
my god, people are
Bitcoin,
selling.
yeah.
People are selling guns on Snapchat. By the way, that's
Hey.
something else we gotta talk about, bro. It's fucking
That's pretty
Snapchat
crazy.
trappers, bro.
Hell
Snapchat
yeah.
trappers fucking out of control,
Okay.
bro. That's
Snapchat
we'll get
trappers
we
out
can
here.
double back to that, but
Well,
yeah,
Yeah, we'll circle back
That's
to
a
that
whole-
one.
What was that?
We'll circle back to that
We'll
one.
circle back to that
to
because
that
yeah,
one.
Snapchat,
Circle back.
Snapchat, you trapping and oh my god, it's out of control,
Yeah.
bro. It's so bad.
That's the new market, man.
It is a new market, but you know what? It makes me it's kind of crazy, and I'm super anti. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude. Yeah. The money through Snapchat. Exactly. You already know. That's how they do it.
I just want to say I got scammed on Snapchat back in like August. I was able to get all my.
Taba,
yeah.
you poor sucker.
It
I'm
was-
so
it was
sorry,
crazy.
but it was.
I am definitely a sucker for that.
I'm so sorry,
I definitely
but-
should have saw the signs. I should have recognized that this was not my friend. That
Dude.
but like I got caught up with it, but I was able to. I was lucky that I was able to get all my money back, but like a lot of people have been getting scammed on Snapchat. So just be
Dude,
careful,
I remember that.
you know?
It's that shit where it's like, send me $50 and I'll send you 600 back, bro.
Right.
It's good. And I remember that shit. I remember, dude,
I
I
don't know what
chewed
I-
that
what was
full.
I thinking?
You send me $1, you'll get $10 back. You shoot me at $10, you'll get $100 back. I'll just add another zero to it,
Yeah.
and that's how people get you. You're
Yeah.
I
Wait,
should have
like
known better.
what do you mean?
That's like a third grade level RuneScape scam.
Yeah, it's a classic. Seriously, bro. That's what I'm saying,
Definitely.
dude. I just want it to be known too, though, Taba. We like me and like Kyle, all the because remember we had the group chat called Avenging Taba.
Yeah.
Fucking because Taba's Snapchat got compromised.
My Snapchat was legendary. I missed that old account so much. Like I had so many memories and everything.
Bro,
Great group
we
chats, and
all
it's all
shit
gone now.
talked that bot so much, bro. We shit talked that motherfucker so hard with making threats and shit. We're
I
like, fuck
appreciate
you, fucking stupid asshole. Fucking stealing people's accounts. Fucking. We're like, get a
I
job
was
like an
legitimately
American.
sad. It was bad. It was bad.
No, but anyways, yeah, back to what the fuck were we talking about anyways, huh?
Stonks.
Okay,
Stonks.
so back to
Stonks.
Gamestonks.
Back to
Let's think about it. Like, we've been spending the last, everybody's, clamoring to be like, well, we just got to vote for the right guy. We got to get the right person in office, and then they'll redistribute the wealth. They'll tax the rich. They'll do this and that for us. And it's like, how many times do we have to go
You
through
know,
this fucking game where it's like,
how
we're
many
not going to
times
get
we
any
gotta
of that shit?
teach you this lesson, old
And
man?
yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
well, it's like how many times we got to teach you this lesson, young man, too, where it's
That
just
too,
like,
right.
bro,
Yeah.
it's like, even like, yeah, like middle-aged or older people that just keep like voting for the same shit over and over because
Yeah.
they're just.
I think for me, it's like in my opinion, I think it's important for us to understand the power of our vote, right? So we should all, I believe we should all be voting locally, definitely. You know,
Yes.
voting for our areas, voting for the policies and things like that that really direct, the day to day that we, whatever city, state you live
Experience,
in. Of course,
yeah.
our experience. But when it comes to voting higher up, if the person or the two people that are probably gonna win, are not really doing anything that's really like going to benefit your community. I understand the power of not voting sometimes because at the end of the day, they want you to vote for them because they want you to vote for them for whatever reason that they want to be, hold that position. But like at the end of the day, if they're not doing something that's really directly, helping your community, then like I would say just withdraw your vote. Don't vote because that kind of forces them to say, okay, yeah, we're not going to get these people's votes anymore. We got to cater to actually what's going to help them and benefit them. That's just my opinion. So it's important to know when to vote and when not to vote, in my opinion, and what to vote for and what
Now,
not
see,
to vote for.
that there right there, like they want you to vote.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter if you if you believe in this or not. Like if you don't know whichever candidate, if you don't have the knowledge, like I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna be sad to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it either. I'm a person that stays out of politics because I don't give a shit. And then it comes down to like all these political problems coming towards everybody, and like it's getting hyped up and everything, and then they're like, go vote. Why haven't you voted yet, Angel?
Right.
Why haven't you voted yet? Who are you voting for? I'm not voting at all. My sister legitimately looked me in the face and said, I'm gonna chop you in the fucking throat if you don't vote. I asked her who she's voting for. The Hillary versus Trump. She's like, Hillary. I'm like, all right. So why are you voting for Hillary? Because
Yeah, I need solid
why?
answers. I
Where
need
are
you to tell me, you know,
tell
what the
me
benefit
why I
of,
should
you
be
know,
voting.
who
Tell
these
me why
people,
I should be
what
doing
they're
this.
doing,
You know,
what
giving this person
yeah,
power.
what policies do they you know believe in that that you believe in? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, what is it really gonna be that's really gonna decide, you know, what's gonna win your vote? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It can't just be because the other person is a piece of, you know, whatever.
Right.
Because maybe this person is too. You know what I'm saying? You never know
You know,
unless you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I had to say.
Well, I was gonna say too, though, you know, as that some, you know, I feel like a lot of people, I mean, because the power of the vote is super important for sure, but everybody very much so kind of overestimates the power of the vote, because that usually does. I mean, yes, a vote in, not just a vote. I'd say what I'm trying to get at is like there's other processes to exert agency through the government that the public can take part of, but it just requires a lot more of like collective.
But
Like
that's
groundwork,
exactly
you know,
but
like
that's exactly what the whole Gamestonks thing did.
Exactly, yes, and
That's,
and
that's the thing. It's like everybody's like, we need to get the government to do this. We need to get this group to do that for us. But it's like, actually, you can just invest your money, and then if everybody does it all at the same time, you can make a fundamental change. And it's like, there's more fucking wealth distribution going to the middle class and working class from stonks than there actually is from the piddly little $600 checks that you get.
No,
That's like, you know, everybody's like so focused on like, oh, voting, you know, and it's when you're voting, it's a type of like manufactured consent where you're just like, if I vote, that means that I consent to the system of voting.
Well,
and I'm like, I'm okay with just playing this game every 4 years.
Well, that's why like initiative like legislation is like the way, because you like it is hard because again you have to get everybody on board and not write pee pee poo poo dick on the fucking you know
Right.
yeah no well not even just that, like don't write pee pee poo poo dick on the fucking, you know, the petition, because you know a lot of people will write their name and it's like, oh, I'm signing the petition but I'm not going to put my address. But it's like, if it's a serious petition, you have to first of all draft it very smartly. You know, a lot of people write like, I don't know, man. A lot of, you know, I went to college at Sac State for 6 years, so like I saw some, you know, everybody's like sign my petition, and I'm like, yeah, shout out Sac State for better or worse. But for real, you know, I always said, okay, let me read it, and I would look through, and I'm like, guys, this is not airtight. You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean by this? You know, we'd have a conversation, and you know, so basically it's, you know, initiatives like, but look at this. I work in the weed industry, in the cannabis industry. That entire industry exists because of, you know, initiative legislation. You know, people being like, we're already doing this. You know what I mean? Everybody's already doing this. There's no reason for this. Like, this should be part of the system. You know what I mean? And it obviously, you know, they're like, you know, weed has incentive to, you know, there's like big people backing it and stuff, and there's a lot of reasons for it, and that's like an easy example. But, you know, at the same time, a lot of people complain at my job. They're like, oh, it's not how it used to be. They used to be able to do this and this, and when the new laws came, you know, we can't do that anymore. It's like, well, let's get everybody back up together, do it all again, you know. But you know what? It's all the, you know, everybody's kind of spirits are broken because when it came into this, again, when it comes down to the fine paper, you know, like Prop 64 was like, you know, carefully written to where a lot of people were like, oh, it's weed, but then it changed everything, you know. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
There's
you know
always
what I mean?
some other like
It's a
pork
double-edged
stuff
sword,
thrown in.
yeah.
There's always some other bullshit thrown in where it's just like, do you want to vote for legal weed? Yes or no? And you're like, well, obviously yes. And then it's like, oh, but you know, you didn't
It's
read
like,
the fine
oh, you can
print.
only buy an ounce. You can only have 2 plants. You can only
Yeah.
fucking, you know.
And you didn't read the fine print of Robinhood. Actually, we can just freeze your fucking stocks.
Dude,
like
that's
they're doing
fucking
now.
scum,
It's
bro.
crazy.
They could just straight like. So I heard like they basically you could still sell off your shit, but you can't like buy and like
Yes.
interact anymore.
So they're
like,
forcing the price to just go all the way back down. But people are still holding it. So like the longer that they hold it, the more that the hedge funds will have to to cover.
So what are they doing again?
So, okay, I'm gonna explain it in like the most like dumb way because that's the only way that I really understand.
Gotcha, it's all good.
Basically, all right. So like a few months ago, GameStop stock was at like $5 or $10 or whatever, right? And then there's these short sellers who are like, okay, I'm looking at the trends. I'm looking at how things are going. I think GameStop is going to take a shit. Just like AMC just like all these other companies that are like no one's going there because first of all everybody's doing digital now. You're not going to the movie theater. You're not going to GameStop. So they're it's like, and it's like I'm not against hedge funds like in general, but they're when you take out a stock, if you like get a stock in Tesla or a stock in whatever, you're like, I like Tesla. I want this company to succeed.
Right.
If you're a short seller and you're a hedge fund, you're betting on someone to lose.
Okay.
You're betting on them to fail. So they're like, I bet GameStop's gonna fail. So then they buy up all these stocks, and then people sell the stocks to the hedge fund. And then the hedge fund's like, all right, sweet. If the stock's worth $10 today, and then I predict it's going to be a $5, in a couple weeks, then I make, all that extra profit, that extra $5 off of each stock.
Yeah.
But if each stock goes up to like $800 fucking dollars per share, now they owe like, what was it? Like how many billions of it? It was like
Losses are over like 70 billion right now.
70 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what
So
they're
we're just-
doing is they're holding all
Right.
the stock. Now, the short sellers, they basically have shorted more stock than actually exist in GameStop's.
Which is
little
a
sub-economy.
common thing, I guess. But they usually
Yeah.
just don't get caught.
They usually don't get caught. It's not really like particularly ethical.
No.
So the fact that they've shorted more stock than actually exists means that all of the people who've bought up the remaining stock on Reddit and are just holding, they're basically driving up this value. And when the short sellers have to pay all this back, it's going to be $300, $400 a stock instead of like $3 or $4. So,
Right. So it was like Melvin Capital was this hedge fund, and they lost like over 50%, I think, of their actual like cash. It's crazy, but people bring up it's like that's what people's retirement boomer retirement plans are that's where their retirement is stored up in.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that you can be paying into this your whole life, paying into this retirement fund, and then it's all just these crazy coked out fucking Wall Street guys that are just like fucking around with your money, just moving zeros around on a screen, and it doesn't even exist, and it's all fake, and it's like you've been paying your entire life towards that. So it's like it sucks for the people who are losing their retirement, in their 401k or whatever because of this, but it's like, dude, that's just kind of like a wake-up call. It's like all of your like future and all of your pension and your retirement plans and your IRAs and all that shit, it's all just being tied up in you just kind of put it away and just you don't really even know where it's going. And and usually the hedge funds make a massive amount of profit whenever if GameStop just went out of business, they would be like, fuck yeah, we're gonna make a killing off of it.
Like financial brokers like this also just tend to make a profit based on people's unwillingness or inability or lack of knowledge to understand the market.
Yeah.
So they can, upcharge massive amounts of profit when they borrow stocks from people to short sell or just, invest in other things. So
So let's say that was my savings. Like, low key, if I'm putting that savings away and literally putting it away so somebody else can access it whenever the fuck they want and fuck with it however they want and shit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
Basically, well, it depends on what kind of savings.
Yeah.
Like if you just have a regular savings account,
Yeah, let's say the stock is my savings. Like, this is what I'm defining as my savings. I'm investing money into this, and as I'm making money and climbing it up and stuff, I'm not touching it at all.
Yeah.
That's my savings, and now I'm going back because it's an emergency, and now suddenly my savings the numbers are all fucked up because I'm like, wait a second, I haven't touched this at all.
Well, because we don't even know like how that's really gonna work out. Because basically, there was this whole deal where Robinhood was the company that froze all these people's stocks. They're like, I'm way too dumb for all this shit. But I'm just trying to figure it out.
You, me.
And it's like, basically they negotiated a deal where it's like, okay, Robinhood, you only have to pay. It was less than $1 billion out of like $3 billion that they owed. But they're like, okay, you can only pay like $700 million, but you also have to just freeze the stock. And so now I don't even know if as of now it's just entirely frozen or if you can still sell or whatever. But I mean, it's only a matter of time until there's like a big ass class action lawsuit against Robinhood for doing that to people. Because if you
when you free stock, you can't like add or subtract
right,
from
yeah,
it.
right. Because
Okay.
last time I checked, you could only just sell. Like,
Yeah.
but you couldn't buy more.
Can't buy any stock,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
Shit.
Which GameStop is not worth that much per share. They're just.
I
not.
didn't even know GameStop was still open.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. So like that's what they're doing is by specifically targeting companies that everyone thinks is gonna fail, and just bumping them up times a million. Then that is very much unanticipated from the hedge funds. So basically, like if you dropped, your $600 stimmy check
Yeah.
into GameStop and AMC or whatever, even if you just lose all that, you can only go as low as zero. You can only be like, well, I lost $600. That sucks. But the hedge funds, they can lose like infinite amounts
shit,
of
we
money.
we lost what we invested and what we
Yeah.
thought we were
Right.
getting back.
Now we have to pay people back times a fucking
Well,
1,000.
damn.
It's great.
It's hilarious
That sounds like
because
borrowing money
they
from
set
my
themselves
parents.
up for this.
Yeah.
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 You know, this is the system they created to fuck
didn't-
you over.
it's like-
and they're just salty because now it's not working the way they wanted it to work.
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Now they're like, well,
That's
I don't
the
know.
part.
We got to protect these investors from making mistakes that they might. It's like, bro, everyone knows what they're getting into here. It's the
Yeah.
stock market. You're betting. It's a fucking casino. If you can treat the economy like a casino, we can treat the economy like a casino.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
mean, the economy is a casino.
Yeah.
It's all risk and reward.
Right.
Period. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I like seeing people use capitalism in a way that actually benefits people. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the tools are there in front of you. Or it's like it's just funny too how like everybody's like, no, you can never beat this Wall Street. No, you could never do this. You could never do that. But it's like it turns out it's actually like really easy to
Well,
do a lot
you
of
see
shit.
how
It was extremely easy for people to just like walk into the or get into the Capitol or whatever.
Dude.
It's not even. It's not actually as hard as you. But there's just like this like
live it-
security
you know,
theater
we-
where you're like, it's no one could ever break into the Capitol.
Well,
It's
we-
impossible.
we
No one
like-
could ever defeat the stock.
We
That's
like
impossible.
fucking love, like everybody lately, dude, loves a victim culture and a culture of powerlessness.
Yeah.
Like they are, like everybody is straight like loving that vibe right now, where it's all like we can't do anything. And that's why too, you notice too, like on social media, and you talk about like we can solve COVID, like all that's censored. It's
all
all
in it
really
together.
bad. Well, yeah, we're all, and it's like and it's the thing. It's like only kind of like there's only negative talk is allowed, really. You know, I mean, you can't even ever because I mean, how many fucking articles are there even coming out being like, oh well, but what about this? Like, there aren't really ever any like counterpoints to any of the major talking points because all the fucking media outlets really say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying too, like I feel like schools teach this a lot too, like because I don't know, I was a history major, but like like mine was specifically like history, like world history and U.S. history, and then too about imperialism and colonialism into the the modern global history. I would say is like my expertise, and I just feel like a lot of other departments. I'm not gonna really say what point fingers at anybody, but like. I feel like there very much so is an emphasis on the victimization of people rather than the exertion of agency.
Right.
Like as a Native American, I've been very frustrated lately with the way that people kind of use I'm pro-indigenous, I'm an indigenous supporter as kind of this own kind of pat on the back here. And then they look me in the face and say I'm a crazy right-wing maniac, like as I'm fucking talking about, my experience and shit.
Yeah.
And, it's just kind of frustrating too, because, I'll see like communist fools like be like, this land was taken from the Native Americans. And I'm like, so that means you can have it? Yeah, I mean, like, you know what I mean? So that means you can have it? Like, yeah, that's what you're thinking? Like, and I'm seeing that a lot, like, and, so that's frustrating when, again, I believe in agency and, I've learned about a lot of, Native Americans. I've studied them. I have a special recognition from Sac State studying Native Americans, and they exerted a lot of agency. And so did, African American slaves. They did what they, in many small ways, of course, ways of there's still largely victimization. But, there's no, I feel like the narrative of, push through, you can do it no matter what the odds are against you. Like, the forces that be, the media, schools, bunch of shit. The stock market, definitely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers don't want you to try. They don't want you to go for it.
They don't
want you
to know how easy it actually is to fuck with the system.
They don't want you to hit the NOS button in your soul and make you be like, yo, let's just fucking, I could get it. You know, I could grab it and reach out and take it, you know?
If everyone all did that at the same time, the
And that's
political establishment would be in a
And
big,
that's the point right
big
there. If
problem.
everyone all did it at the same
Yeah.
time and worked together, really,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We all have to kind of believe in, you know, that same common interest of, you know,
Yeah.
making it happen, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which is hard to do. It's hard to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
on
And
certain
that's why I
things.
don't like to, like, me and Taba were talking about this the other night, is comparing suffering and comparing, like, atrocities, being like, you know, oh, well, these people had it worse in this time, and so therefore, like, we need the government to do this for us over doing this for your community too. It's
Right.
like your communities need to work together and build up themselves, man. Because guess what? The government's not going to do shit time after time. They fuck you over and then they play like the good guy later. You know,
Right.
30 years later, they give everybody a fucking holiday and they call them heroes when they call them communists and fucking
Right,
dissenters
assassinate somebody
assassinate
and then, you know,
them and
have a
fucking-
holiday for
Right,
that,
right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, no, and I know it's
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, genocide is genocide, slavery is slavery. You know, when people are treated like less than human beings, we should acknowledge that regardless of who it was that was treated that way, for sure.
And you know, I think that again, exactly. You know, it's all suffering. You know, and all of our families. You know, everybody's. You know, I mean, you know, go ahead. Sorry. You know, I know a lot of people's families have been through a lot to get to where they are now, and it's hard. You know, because it's hard to see you know what your grandparents went through, what your parents went through. And learning about it stuff, and what you're going through too now. Anybody of anybody. Period. I just want to say too, not of people of color or anything. That people have been through a lot, and their families have been through a lot too, and his family history means a lot. And again, to compare like suffering, it's I just feel like there's a lot of counterproductive dialogue happening. You feel me? It's going in circles about like and again, it's like like the white people and slaveholders, the original sin. It's like not everybody's family owned slaves. Straight the fuck up.
Right.
Like in fact, most people were poor as shit.
Right.
Farming and eating fucking potatoes out the fucking
even,
dirt.
Right,
Like,
even the richest motherfuckers of the 1700s, it's like, bro, you get a tooth infection, you're done. Like, you're dead.
that too, but I just mean like
Or,
too. It's
you
like
know,
a very
Life
I
is
don't
hard.
know, but again, just building communities, focusing inwardly, and then using your independent determination to achieve your goals. If you get the people and the people around you to do that, again, that's what they don't want. They want you to be in this kind of culture of like hopelessness, where it's like I can't do anything.
Where you have to depend on someone else to give your life value.
Well,
it's
it's
like
like, why do you
it's
think-
like that's like there's this other there's this commentator Eric July. I watch a lot of his content, and his whole kind of thing is like, who are you trying to prove that your life matters to? You know what I mean? It's like you should know that just on its own merit, like your own life has its own inherent value, and you don't need any you don't need fucking you don't need McDonald's and JP Morgan to be like your life matters. It's like you don't need all that it's not the corporations and the politicians who are gonna make things move for you, make things work for you.
Yeah.
It's actually a huge problem. I mean, not to get like too deep with it, but learned helplessness
Yep.
is something that you learn from like a very young age in basically neglectful homes mostly. And I mean, a lot of that psychology has been sort of like exploited by MK Ultra sort of philosophies and just like design
now we're
choices.
getting into good
Well,
shit.
hey, I just want to
Like
say
that. I mean,
if anybody says like anybody just anybody in general, if you can't acknowledge like MK Ultra's influence on modern society, like I really feel like I can't even have a conversation. I know that sounds like ridiculous, but like it's not even a conspiracy. It's all unredacted. All that information's really out there, and there's tons of survivor stories. And it's like, come on, the government doing fucked up shit and putting chemicals in people's bodies to make them trip.
Absolutely.
You think that's unbelievable? You know what I mean? Like, so I just want I just like to establish that too, because like even like because again like not to because again most normal people would hear MK Ultra like, oh, now we're getting weird. It's not weird at all, bro. That's a fucking That's true. Like just
Yeah.
facts. Like
You're on your Google Gaga shit.
yeah, y'all on your goo goo gaga
Yeah.
shit. We out here researching facts.
Yeah.
I think it's just important in general to just be open-minded about certain things that, a lot of people might say is taboo or conspiracies or whatever. Like, when it even comes to like that, I think of like, Tuskegee experiments and like the way that they would like, really give black people syphilis,
Yep.
that's important in this country. So why would I trust, a vaccine? Why would I trust, the medical system in general? It's like we already know how they feel about us, and
Why would I trust
would they really do everything they could do to to keep me healthy? I
And
don't
it's
know.
not, and it's not just
Something to think about.
if we're gonna go into like the COVID stuff, it's not just like, oh, we gotta trust science, we gotta trust the doctors. It's we gotta trust the government scientists and the government doctors, and silence these other doctors that have other points.
They have
And
different
seriously,
opinions, different ways
yeah.
to go about it. Herbalists, different ways to do it
Hey,
naturally.
do you
or
remember
just,
when there was that
publicly
video where
slander and cancel them?
they
basically.
slandered and canceled them
Yeah.
straight the
Yep.
fuck up, and they were like, do you remember they like berated that like African lady, that African doctor woman,
yeah.
because they were like, oh, she believes in demon sperm
Yeah,
and
yeah,
believes in it. And I'm all like, bruh, she's from Africa, she probably believes in all kinds of stuff, but
Yeah.
she's a fucking doctor and you're not. Like,
Right.
you feel me? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, and I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean that. Like, this is coming from the people who claim to be, you can't do that. That's cultural appropriation. You need to be tolerant of other people.
Yep.
And then the second a slander campaign comes out against them, and it's like, look at this right-wing white supremacist from Nigeria. Like,
Yeah,
come
exactly.
on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like that shit was really
We
rough.
need to understand multiracial whiteness.
Well, especially because
know.
like I remember watching that video and she was going off, like very passionate. You could tell that she was, like that, these people's experiences were valid. They were fucking, I don't know. That shit.
It's all about elevate black voices, unless the black voice doesn't agree with the with Wall Street and with the
very much so.
with the political establishment. That's
Hold on, I was gonna
Yeah.
say something though. What were we just talking about a second ago? MK Ultra, open-mindedness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, social conditioning. I was gonna say too is I feel like oh yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Nicole said it right here. Nicole said straight up. She said they're trying to separate us.
Shout out everybody in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, shout out
See
anybody in the
Natalie,
chat. Ritual,
Josh,
yeah,
in
Ritual. Shout, we gotta get you up in the fuck.
Nicole.
Watching the video, please drop a comment in the chat.
Yeah, say what's up.
do
Come
it.
say what's
got
up.
four
Make this thing
viewers.
interactive,
if you're watching.
Yeah. No, yeah. Nicole says too. You gotta convince yourself and your communities to never give up. And it really is. It's a communal thing, bro. And like, especially with this, why do you think during all these crazy shit they want everybody to stay away from each other? You feel me? Like distance. You know, what I mean, they're
Right.
closing down.
Wanna
Local
break down the
shows.
community,
Well,
Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
closing down local venues. Where guess what? Because even a music scene, like creation is very much so. Like creativity is very much so like a tool against like.
Yep.
The forces of fate, really.
Yeah.
Because
Music,
comedy, even too like ancient, like all the stories of mythology. Those are
Yeah.
all just stories that got passed down, and people fucking worship him and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so they don't want that happening. You know what I mean? They don't want people getting together and making music, talking about shit, and like getting other people, the next generation to come up
Yeah.
and start doing the same thing and getting, they want everybody to be all weird and anxious inside and
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
and then the kids coming
You're
up
much
right
easier
now
to
are about to
control.
have all kinds of fucking,
I can speak for. I don't mean to cut you
You're
off.
good. You're good.
I can speak for myself and just like kind of my own life experience since March when this whole thing kind of kicked off. Is like I'm a kind of person that thrives off a community.
Do you need the key?
Oh, that's good. I'm the kind of person that thrives off community and being able to like really interact and cooperate with people and stuff like that. So like being in isolation and not really being able to just see people on the day to day. You know what I'm saying? It really
Yeah.
does make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So this whole pandemic, of course, it's safety first and everything like that. We understand that, but at the end of the day, we do have to figure out how to continue to get that community and continue to be
Yeah.
able to tap in with each other because it really does change things for sure.
Yeah. Well, and not to get on some like super 1776 shit, but the American Revolution was a conspiracy.
Very much so.
The people conspired, and where did they get together to conspire to go up against the British? Bars, taverns, pubs, places like
Hey,
that.
I just want to say
churches,
too.
Yep.
I just
all the
want to
places
say
that are shut down.
Sorry, not to do that too, but you know what else the founding fathers used? That mother. It's amazing when people can't see it. Because again, this is a classic American tactic of motherfucking false flag, bro. We fucking dressed up like Indians and went on the
Classic
fucking Boston
America.
Tea Party and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't us, bro. We didn't do it. It was some Indians. I don't know. Just like, I don't know, bro. Well, they just let the MAGA fools in the Capitol, and then the cops just let them in. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's very similar. Like, not just that, but like false
in a
flags.
sense.
The American government using false flags within, just as a tactic.
Right.
Like, and I sorry, that's just tangential, but yeah.
I feel like the American government are the ones who've perfected false flags.
Dude, they're so good. Like
Yuri Bezmenov
so
was
good
talking
at
about,
it.
we're like several decades like into our demoralization process.
No.
To the point where that's now their like just recurring tactic as a base default.
Yep.
You know?
No, exactly, because guess
Ain't
what?
broke,
It
don't
works,
fix it, right?
bro.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep on doing it, and until somebody can figure out how to kind of get through that, then it's like they can continue to make it happen like that.
I think they're just stalling, you know?
Oh, I think they're very much so
they
just
haven't figured
stalling.
out how to like actually conquer
Right.
the entire world and
I was
form
gonna
one globalist government. So they're just trying. You know?
Hey,
And I think that's the ultimate goal. Is they're trying to do that.
Obama mobilized troops. Did you guys hear about that or whatever? Didn't he like send some troops into somewhere?
Wait,
I heard something about
Obama?
that. No, fucking Obama.
Biden?
Biden, bruh. Obama part 2, bro. That's what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
We're doing a surveillance state. We're gonna get some shitty universal healthcare
hell yeah.
going that doesn't work.
Dude, we're already
we're gonna
pulling-
get some
yeah.
fucking
Looks like war's back on the menu, boys.
Ho!
Yeah.
I'm going.
That's
back,
right.
Back to
Hey, you
Iraq,
guys.
Iraq.
Yeah.
I'm going back to
Yeah.
the oil fields. Gotta get that Zapp and Roger
Yeah.
voice, you know?
Yeah, where it's just like, the Kurds are important again. Y'all care about the Kurds, right? Remember the Kurds in Syria? No? Well, it doesn't matter because you know what? They're in trouble and they need the United States help, and we have to go and be the world police, and we have to solve every humanitarian crisis, even though we failed at doing that.
Jesus Christ,
through, like,
dude.
every single
Okay,
one.
that's what I'm saying too, dude. And I'm sick of also too globalism has been happening since the 1500s. Globalism has been happening. The intercommunication between different economies and different countries across the world has been happening since the 1500s. Now, people are going to bash imperialism, bash colonialism, bash the European governments that went over and tried to take over the world and conspire to carve up the world in their own image, and yet want to deny the existence of potential globalist people, or say that the term globalist is a conspiracy theory. Right. You don't think that there's people that want to have the whole world operating under a certain system that benefits them, when literally that's what most leftist kind of people propose, that the 1% controls it all, holds all. There's inequality, and you know what I mean, the forces that be create racism and fucking discriminate against people and oppress people, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, they go hand in hand, and yet I don't feel like there's not a bridge between the two. I don't even know where that came from, but
where it's like, oh, you have to give the people that caused all the problems in the first place more power so that they can save you this time, and not they're not going to cause you more problems if you give them more money and more power. They're going to save you from the problems that they created.
Right.
You know,
that too.
when you get career politicians like Joe Biden, it's like, what's he going to do now that he hasn't done in 47 years? Did he suddenly just like get baptized in the woke water and now he's like suddenly like, you know, it's like bro's got his own kind of racist shit going on, and he's got, you know,
bro,
and it's like, it's not so much that I don't think he's like a
bro's got
like a
his
vicious
own
racist,
kind
but I
of-
think he's senile now, and now he forgets to not be racist.
Fool's got his own. Fool's
we-
got a problem
I
that
know-
rhymes with racist.
I
It's
know
not
what-
racist. It's one letter
yeah.
different.
I know where Eli's gonna go with that. You know, and we could go there, but I mean,
I just gotta say that about Joe Biden. He's got a problem that rhymes with racist, but it's not racist. That's
yeah.
Internal rhyme.
There's something there. There's definitely
You know
something
what I'm
there.
saying.
But what I was gonna say is, like, you know, it was interesting to me when he said what he said on I forget what it was. He was like something about like
breakfast show.
on the Breakfast Club. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
That's
like,
classic
What does that
Joe.
even mean?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
dude?
Your black card is
Again, I'm sorry.
If you ever
Isn't it a little too convenient that right after that we have literal fucking race motivated riots just
Yeah.
popping off the second
Dude,
after Joe
yeah.
Biden says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. It's obvious.
Not
It's
you
like-
aren't black. You ain't.
ain't.
I said you ain't black. No,
Yeah.
you're right. No, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. That's so fucked up. Straight
Just
up.
the way he said it, the whole like
Well,
he really said
hey,
it like he
yeah.
believed it.
Hey,
Like,
and
yeah,
that last
I'm gonna
line
get him
though.
with this one.
Yeah. Sorry. Not to. Sorry.
No, it's good.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that's- that was
But
crazy.
for real, I remember his whole answer though, because like I remember like Charlemagne asked him too. He's like, he straight up said, he's like, "What is your administration gonna do? How do you plan? How would you plan on listening to the community? Because we've had this problem before." And and it was a good question. It really
Great
was.
question.
It was a really great question actually.
That's the one question we need.
Because that
Answer
could have been the time. That could have been the time to be like, and he's just like, "Hey, yo, come on, man. What you fucking think?" And like, I remember I always joke around, like, bro, he was hopped up on the.
Come on, man. Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, man. What you think? What you mean?" He's trying to do like a Hillary
Yeah,
Clinton,
yeah,
bro. He's
yeah.
gonna pull the hot
The
sauce
hot
out of
sauce,
his
ooh.
purse, bro. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I fucking just. Oh my god, dude, it was bad. It was really bad. It was really
very,
rough.
very interesting. It was kind of I felt uncomfortable just watching that.
No, it was not
I was
okay, dude. And I just, and then like I said too, I mean, there is like all the stuff that happened after, man. I mean, it kind of went 0 to 100, like. And I mean, that's happened before, like earlier, like when we were in high school and stuff. There was like, when Black Lives Matter first started coming around, is after fucking, a police shooting and stuff. And those riots got ugly too. But like, dude, things got like super like Rodney King level crazy. Just right after that, as soon as he said that, like. And it was fucked up. Like, I don't know. And, things got super fucked up right after that. And it's like, they were like, oh, this is Donald Trump's America.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does Donald Trump have to do with cops killing people, frankly? I'm gonna really propose that question because I feel like that's a misnomer there. Because, again, I got fucking no-knock rated in 2013 when Joe Biden and Barack Obama were president and Jerry Brown was governor.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna say my piece on this, my opinion on this. It's like, of course, we understand that we know that Donald Trump isn't the genesis of racism in this country.
Yeah.
That's facts, I think what Donald Trump has done, is he's given, the Proud Boys a license to be able to be a little bit more flamboyant with their beliefs and, doing the things that they're doing and conducting themselves the way they're conducting themselves. But when we talk about police brutality, particularly against, people of color, this is an issue that we've had since the genesis of this, of this nation. So, we just got to really, look at it like that. Like, it's not a game. This is, racism didn't just happen, 8 years ago. It's been going on.
Right.
And it's a plague on the world, but especially in America, when it comes to, black people and, other people of color. It's like, this is an issue and we have to really figure out how to fix it. And how do we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you put it well because, just, blaming certain key figures on just being like the most racist people on the planet only really serves to like, make actual racists more happy at the end of the day,
Right.
It's just like.
See, and
they're doing what they've done.
Right.
They're doing what they tried to do is like make people like them hate other races or at least show that hate,
Yeah, and I guess what I mean is just like, racism, like you're saying, has been going on for hundreds of years in this country. And, to reduce it to something that is just because of one person or like all the racism in the world happens because of Donald Trump specifically. It's like that's ridiculous. And I don't think that sort of mindset's like really sustainable just for the future.
Well,
even the next 4 years.
Just real quick, what I was gonna get at too, though, is that just super quick is, I hella agree so fucking much that actual racists and actual like people who are just annoying dickhead douchebag conservatives anyways got the fattest fucking hard on for Donnie T. And yes, they were like, you know what? Literally one time at my job, I work in real, just real quick, I work in real fucking Linda. So you already know I had to deal with so many fucking Trump supporters like, on a regular fucking basis. And that's also why I get frustrated when people are like, if anybody's, because I met plenty of friendly ones, I met plenty of normal people that are actually just really fucking cool. And they just happen to be a country bumpkin, and they're happy to, they believe in Jesus, and for whatever fucking reason. But yes, normal assholes who were already racist and were already just a dick to begin with, you feel me? Got emboldened by that.
Right.
And then, but what I was going to say too, though, is that exactly. So that definitely got a little bit worse. I feel like people got, a little more feisty with each other. But like structurally, bro, all the problems that I feel like most Democrats and leftists, people who identify that have a problem with, have been going on and were actually not started, but I mean like, a lot of like police brutality and militarization of police got worse under Obama. 2009, 2010 was when they started to have like full assault rifles. No knock raids started to be a thing. 2011. And there's just a lot of things Where again, you know, like during all the riots and stuff, it's like your Democratic mayor is the one calling in the dogs right now, dude. Like, how are you gonna go still vote for him and stamp for him, you know?
Well, and the thing is, Obama, you know, he was like celebrated by the press and celebrities other than Fox News. They fawned over him all the time because the establishment would rather you know, as like, would rather have people of color or, you know, they would rather have them be voting for the black guy who's part of the establishment, who's still basically, you know, you voted for Obama because he's like, oh yeah, he's supposed to be against the wars and he's against this and that, and he's like a super charismatic, swell guy. But, you know, you vote him in and it's like you get what you were going to get anyways. You know, no matter who you vote for, you get fucking Dick Cheney. You know what I mean? Like, you get John McCain, you just get that, like, it's like, it doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, you're going to get more war, you're going to get more spending, you know.
Well, especially in our lifetime, too, I'd say, like, because, you know, we were alive during Clinton, but I don't remember what Clinton was like as a fucking president. Come on. But again, you know, as kids, we saw the fucking World Trade Center get blown up on TV. Yeah. You know, so it's like, okay, I started to pay attention to the news a little bit more. And yeah, Bush and Obama, you know, when it came to like war and shit too, I was like, I remember too, I was like, yo, stop fucking showing that there's, and again, we talked about it too, war's good for ratings. And then, so the government, you know, they love that loop there, you know, to keep the money flowing. You know, because media is an extension of the government, you know, that's just period, you know, any mainstream fucking thing in any country, it's like that.
I mean, we got PBS and NPR, which essentially, just because it's boring doesn't mean it's not
valid.
Biased. Yeah.
I really enjoy NPR, by the way. It's, you know.
No, don't get me wrong. I mean,
it's ASMR network.
I used to love and that's what I'm thinking too. Though it's kind of crazy because NPR straight up was talking about like me and my brother used to listen to like Coast to Coast on NPR like hella late because I used to go pick him up from the casino and he worked at like a casino, so he'd get off at like 2 a.m. and shit, and and I'd talk with my dad and my brother in the car. Picking them up, and we'd be listening to this stuff, and it's talking about, again, different, individual cases where, again, it's like they entered people's property, and then they were like, like the cops entered, like, again, individual cases, what I mean, isolated incidents that set the precedent for this, and this was back in, again, 2011, 12, and now NPR is super duper, left-wing kind of, like I remember too, when he said the whole thing about Donald Trump being like, oh, well, you could just put bleach or whatever and people like, use inhale Clorox or whatever. And basically NPR wrote an article insinuating that people were doing it, but nowhere in the thing did it say that it was an actual thing. And I remember someone, a friend of ours on Facebook even was like, oh my God, it's happening already. And I was like, show me that this is actually happening. Show me hospitalization rates. Show me like.
There was that thing about the guy that did drink Clorox, but that was like
come on, bro.
That was like a conspiracy within itself, dude.
What happened about that
Where
one?
Where it was like, oh fuck, I forget. It was like
I don't remember all the details, but I do remember that
there
story.
was like, there was a guy who died from allegedly drinking bleach because Trump told him to drink Clorox, or he's like, oh, that's hydrochloroquine, but it's like. It was like some fucking chemical in some, cleaning product or whatever. You're going to get disinfected. It's going to be great. It's going to be tremendous. But it's super sus because it turns out the guy's wife, she like called the cops. She's like, oh my God, help. He drank poison. Oh my God. It was probably because of Donald Trump that he drank the poison.
Oh my God.
Donald Trump. And then it's like, oh, it turns out she was like a DNC, like kind of like high ranking, staff person at I forget what it was, but she was like, connected to the Democratic Party.
Damn. Wow.
And it's like, dude, did she just murk her husband and then try to use it like to score points? Man. To be like, oh my God, Trump made this guy drink bleach, but she actually just fucking murdered him. That would be pretty fucking wild. I don't know if that's true, but that's completely speculative.
Totally. It could be 100% fictitious.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
We are financial advisors, and
We are credible journalists as well.
nothing but the news, nothing but the hard news,
The
hard facts.
cold hard
That's
facts.
right.
Cool.
there.
While y'all are on your goo goo
Yeah.
gaga shit, we out here researching
Yeah,
facts.
we
out
out
here
reading
buying
books.
Dogecoin
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
I need to buy me some Dogecoin quick,
Yeah.
bro.
What do you mean? I diversified my bonds. I got Bitcoin, I got Dogecoin, and I got GameStop. It's very diversified. I got all the things.
I want to
Yeah.
acknowledge Cole, who just commented.
Yeah, dude.
Golden rule: those who have the gold make the rule.
Ho!
For sure.
That's a
Shout
boss.
out to everybody in the chat, man.
That's a
Ritual
baller.
Incorporated, shout out.
I know. Shout out Ritual, bro.
Shout out
Ritual.
Nicole Grockow.
Nicole, you gotta come on the fucking
Shout
get
out
featured on
Angel
here.
in the
Nicole
chat.
definitely got to be on the cast for
Jump
sure.
in
And
it.
shout out Marco Patino in the chat.
Hey, Nicole.
shout out,
Crispy. Crispy's in
Crispy,
here.
oh, Crispy's gotta
Hey.
be on here too, for sure, bro.
shout out Ben Hamilton in the
Ben?
chat.
Hey, Ben Hammy,
Shout out
Hammy,
Ben.
how you doing, Hammy boy?
What's good,
Shout
Ben?
out Cole in the chat.
Yo,
Thank you for everyone
got-
that's
it's
viewing that has
poppin'.
viewers. You know?
We got 8 viewers.
There's gonna view.
I know you're watching.
Aha.
God, this cast is exclusive as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
But that's
Yeah.
sick though.
We got about a half hour left. Just like
no, that's
Yeah.
fucking popping though. That's a
all
popping
good.
viewers list right
Yeah.
there.
I'm loving it.
Reddit conspiracy
it's growing,
theories.
you know, organically, naturally.
Oh,
Yeah,
guys,
you know,
all
just
right,
happy
so
to be
let's
a part
move
of
on.
it.
Let's talk about Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO
Yeah,
of
man.
Amazon. He stepped into a lower position, but he did step down from CEO. Now, I just want to say
That's
he's
interesting.
probably tired of getting the fucking heat and everybody being like, hey, fuck Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
don't know.
obviously, but I was just like, bro, that feels probably gonna get a breath of fresh air because now they're gonna be like, oh, who's this bitch? And it's gonna be
Yeah.
a CEO. It's a lady, I think, right? Who's gonna be CEO of
Yeah.
Amazon?
Let's pull it up. I got it
Let's
on
see-
the.
let's
I got
see-
the.
let's see
I got the
femi-
screen,
let-
dude.
Hey,
This one, Mark.
let's see how fast. Let's see how fast the feminazis turn on her. You know. Let's see how fast the piranhas come in. You know. That's my whole fucking thing, bro.
Wait, how fast they turn on who?
I'm pretty sure it's a lady. Who
Oh, it's a
replaced
chick.
her,
No,
right?
it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
Oh, okay.
of course not.
Oh, of course not, right? Shit.
Come on, it's his.
Aw,
It's his. Ex,
come on,
it's his
you're right.
ex-wife.
You're right. I'm high.
She buys. She buys like all like the rest of the company.
Hey, I just want to say,
All
bro,
right.
it's like Kanye said, bro. If you ain't no punk, holla, we want prenup. Cause straight up, bro, Bezos, you played
Yeah.
yourself, you bald fuck.
So Jeff Bezos said, this is from NBC, realnews.com.
You played yourself.
Fucking Jeff Bezos said Tuesday that he will step down as chief executive of
Congratulations.
Amazon,
Yourself.
leaving the helm of the company he founded 27 years ago. Bezos will transition to the role of executive chair in the third quarter this year. It starts July 1st, blah, 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 blah. Andy Jassy, the chief executive of Amazon Web Services, will take over as CEO. Let's see.
I'm wrong. I feel like a
Yeah,
idiot.
Andy.
Andy.
Andy
You know,
Dufresne.
man, that's what happens when you skim the article.
Yeah, I skipped. Yeah,
Nicole does bring up a good point, though. He is set for life. He doesn't need to actively work.
that is
So,
very true.
Nope.
That's facts.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I
I
think
would
he hasn't
stupid
needed
wealthy.
to work for a long time,
would
though. That's
Stupid
the
wealthy.
thing.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
The fact that he stuck around this long is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah. Well, but here's what he says is that in a memo to employees, Bezos says the transition will give him the time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, and my other passions.
Okay, I've not heard about this. What's that?
Damn.
I don't know.
get-
So
I
he's
get-
still at
I-
he's still at Amazon.
I get scared when billionaires are like, "I'm gonna work on my passion project." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
What? You better build a fucking
Dude,
death laser,
that's the
bro."
thing.
Like, what the fuck?
That's
Like,
the fucking thing. Every yeah.
Right.
the
Becoming
Bong death
God
laser
Emperor
jet.
of the
yeah.
nation.
Oh my God! You already know Elon's gonna have those in his robot army, bro. With his super soldier son leading the charge, bro.
Man, I'm just ready for one of these rich people to really, like, end homelessness. That's what
Oh,
I'm
let's talk about that actually. Let's have a real quick.
Oh, thank you.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Drink
Oh, right, yeah,
Strawberita.
thanks.
It'll make you throw up red.
All right.
It'll make your puke red.
What were we just fucking saying?
Sorry about that.
Jeff Bezos stepping down. I was gonna transition into homelessness, but we can
Oh,
stay on
yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Fuck. You just said something and I'm blanking. Never mind.
Yo, you should get our cam over the website if you can.
Oh, yeah,
Over
yeah,
the-
yeah.
What
show 'em.
website?
Huh?
What website?
Just like the full website shot or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just can't really.
Oh,
like,
with
see
the
what's
headline.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
headline, it's on like half
We
of the
got-
article right now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, I was reading ahead.
Yeah. Got big bald head ass Jeff Bezos.
Beth Jesus.
Hold on, I gotta. I can't.
I know. I'm not
I can't man the.
balls, bro. You feel me?
What's going on?
I
right
can't
here?
switch the angles.
He looks like a turtle,
The
people.
real question.
He does look like a turtle.
Does
He
Jeff
looks very turtle.
Bezos
He does
fuck?
look like a turtle, right?
Does Jeff Bezos smash? What do you think?
I think yeah.
You
I
think
think
he?
yes, but only because he has money.
Do you think he's timid about it?
No.
Do you think he likes being dominated?
Hard yes. Hard yes.
Okay.
No,
What do you think, Taba? How do you think? What do you stand about Jeff Bezos' sex life? What do you think?
You know, I want no parts of Jeff Bezos' sex life. Personally, I feel like, you know, he's a.
Just answer the question, yes or no. Does Jeff Bezos fuck?
I'm sure he does.
Bobby?
I mean, just
Oh,
look
most
at it.
definitely.
Christian?
Oh
No, and you know what I mean, okay? I'm not asking.
I mean, yeah, it's
I'm
a
not-
pretty
okay,
obvious
I'm
yes.
yeah, okay. All right, just checking. All right,
Dude,
I don't
do
know.
you ever see that thing?
Okay. Question: does Bill Gates fuck, or does he just go on like werewolf mode?
I don't know. Ask Melinda.
Ask man, Linda.
Yeah. Ask her what what those forearms do.
Ugh.
Those forearms do.
Hey, I know what those forearms do,
Gonna
bro.
work you like taffy, bro.
They do some things.
Bro, those forearms smash the motherfucking subscribe button right the fuck
Yeah.
now.
Smash
That's what
that
they do.
Very
motherfucking
true.
subscribe
Hit the
That's true.
notification
Yo,
bell and everything.
you gotta spread
Do
it to the
whole thing.
Zood, because the
That's okay.
ZUDECAST is an initiative. I
Right.
think it might be
Yeah.
out by now.
You
It's
can be an
okay.
honorary Zood.
You
if
be an
you-
honorary
cooperate.
Zood with unusually masculine shoulders.
Oh, look at you. Hey, killing the game out here. Yeah, fucking gay. I like how you're just in an ER onesie.
Yes, Angel
Shout out
is very
Eeyore.
fashionable right now. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Shout out Eeyore.
Yo, that's like the OG sad boy, bro. Like he like.
Got the tail.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go.
Wagging
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, just gonna do
know.
that.
Shout out to the Eeyore costume.
Yeah,
How did we go this entire time without acknowledging the Eeyore
We
costume?
definitely should have acknowledged.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That should have been the first thing we did, honestly.
That's very true.
That's gonna be my new thing. I'm just gonna come in dressed up like random as fuck.
I adapted very quickly. I just mentally moved on. I was like, Eeyore costume. All right, cool.
right,
Let's
yeah,
start the
we're going
show.
with
it's
that.
cold
Everything's ready.
outside, you know. It's a
Hey,
fucking,
you know,
it's
it's a
cold.
onesie, it's cold,
onesie,
keeps you
know.
warm.
It's true.
Comfort is not optional. You feel me?
I wasn't gonna question it. I personally wasn't.
I'll go to the bathroom and come back in a different costume.
I know. I need to start dressing some fucking differently. I'm all just looking fucking like a beaner.
Do we got other?
I'm
like,
rocking the Kobe
audio
jersey,
going in
you
the
know.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it was just
Rest
my
in
phone.
peace, Kobe, Mamba, Mamba Sita, Young Gigi, and all the other people that passed away, unfortunately, on the 26th of January, 2020. Very sad. That was like Kobe's like my favorite person in the world, so I gotta represent it every time.
Oh, definitely. R.I.P. man, dude. R.I.P. MF Doom, bro. Right on
Yeah,
fucking
MF
New
Doom.
Year's. The world. I mean, obviously it happened in like August. They said or
It
whatever.
was October
Yeah.
31st
Octo-
apparently.
Fuck.
Yeah.
On Smokey's birthday.
R.I.P. Doom. One of the greats.
Hey,
One
Doom
of the
never
greats.
gone though. You feel me, bro? Like Doom's still in the studio, bro. He like was rapping all the way up and up at the gates. They were like, "What's your name, son?" He's like, "Yeah, the Golden Gates. Here I come." And it's all like, you're like, but your name. And he's like, "Look at my face, and you know it's fucking Doom." And then they're like, "Oh shit, it's Doom. Fuck." Like,
Doom.
and then like it all started like burning down.
Let this man in.
But not for real. 2020 was wild. We did lose a lot of people.
Toughest
Chadwick,
year of my life for sure.
dude. Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace, Chadwick. So many
Yeah.
people. There's so many people. We can go down the whole list. It's just
Yeah.
2020 was one of those years
Yeah.
like that. You know, will always be imprinted in all of our minds and hearts.
Dude, freaking Kobe and his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Moment of silence.
it doesn't feel real.
It doesn't.
Definitely.
How are you guys feeling about 2021 in general?
Okay, so
Stonks.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, let's get that motherfucking bread. Let's get that wealth redistribution. Let's do it the fucking, the capitalist way.
It's
hey, that's what
money
I'm saying.
game.
Hey,
Take it to 'em.
the
Self-correction
motherfucking
game.
American way,
Yeah,
bro.
the American
because
way.
American ingenuity.
That's right.
Everybody wants to
Fuck 'em right back.
because I'm so sick. Here's what I'm saying. I know it's cliche, bro, but that like people don't. And I think it's intentional. People don't believe in the American dream, and people also don't value our country. Being an American, they don't value the because guess what, bro? Like, yeah,
I don't blame you.
And I don't blame.
Well, I'm proud to be an American.
Hey,
At least
hey,
I know I'm free.
I feel like people get weirded out when I say this
inside
shit.
my fucking house and watch the fucking TV.
And I'm gonna sit.
Yeah. No, shut. Hey, no, that's what I'm saying. The fact that, that's what's being a fucking associated and that's what's become of being an American is kind of sad, bro. That kind of makes me sad. Because, straight up, again, I'm Native American. So, again, this is where my family's from. Like, from, so there's that part of it. But also, too, it's like, it's a beautiful country. So much dope shit's happened here. And, as much horrible shit as America's done, it still has one, like, yeah, and like I said too, it's like not that the whole thing about victimless. And it's not. I don't know, because I feel like too, especially like I've been trying to get my mental health straight for the past few years. I think a lot of people who know me know that, and I'm working very hard on being like mindful and again like trying to quell like I have like depression, so like old shit will really just like fuck me up and like punch me in the chest, but it's like. Basically like understanding it and knowing how like why it got to you to where you are, and then like taking that and then proceeding forward without holding on to like that negativity. You can't reprehend the past, you can't unmake the past, you know what I mean? And I always tell myself these days to help me feel better, everything happened the way it did because it had to, because so we can be here, so we can all be here understanding it now and fixing it to fix it, and whereas again people are like, no, we need to do this because this happened, and that's fucking negative thinking, that's toxic, and that's a bad mindset that people want people to be in, but anyways,
it's just a never-ending loop really of just like, oh yeah, I'm a politician, I'm gonna promise you this, if you elect me I'm gonna give you this and that, what are you gonna do for my community, what are you gonna do for this community, what are you gonna do? It's like everybody just gets so caught up in that shit. But then if they actually gave you what they said they were going to give you, then it's like they're not going to get reelected because their whole platforming to get reelected is to promise you I'm going to make life better. If they actually make life better, then they're going to lose
There's no
relevancy.
incentive on for them to be able to.
Not only will they lose relevancy, but like on top of losing relevancy, that also like puts a whole new lighting for the next term to come in and try to like live up to, like as far as I've paid attention, I'll say in government, we had Obama was the first black president. That's as far as I know. Obama's first black president. He's a good dude. He's funny. He's young.
Charismatic.
Has
a beautiful family.
That's all I've ever heard.
It's a perfect image.
I don't know what Obama does at like behind the scenes. Like I don't know what he's doing. Like I don't know where he eats. Like except for the fucking he doesn't eat at McDonald's. I can tell you that. I know who does eat at McDonald's. Trump, because that was the whole thing about him when he got into the.
That's a weird thing about Trump is that he's like a big like germaphobe or whatever, and he's like. That's, I guess his justification for that is he doesn't want to eat at like, because you just go to like some random Thai food place, it's like there's a chance you could get some fucking food poisoning, especially if you're like out on the road all the time. He's like, I ate McDonald's, it's the same thing every time, I know what I'm getting, it's a consistent product,
Dude, my best friend was an assistant manager and then manager at a McDonald's for 2 years straight. Goddamn, like she's like, we cleaned out the fryer.
Yeah,
Chris, I just want to say your Trump impression is spot on, by the way. I love it. Yeah, that was great.
He also does a fire Louis Armstrong.
Let's hear that Louis.
We need that Louis.
No, you're gonna have to sing "It's a Wonderful World" on our way out. Okay, on the way out, you're gonna do.
What a wonderful world.
Oh, that's fine. That's great.
See clouds of weed
blowing. I can't even do it. I sound like fucking Huey Lewis, bro.
Yeah.
It's hit the B square.
Damn. I didn't think you were gonna say Louis Armstrong. Like, all right, hold on.
What'd you think I was gonna say? Alex Jones?
All right, first man on the moon. I got this. All right.
Let's hear Hillary.
Oh my God.
Well, I got my hot sauce in the bag, and we came, we saw, he died. Oh, dude, I'm working on a Kamala too. Kamala. Fuck, sorry.
Pamela.
Yeah, Kamala.
It's unbearable. Before you hear it, it's just like.
Okay, Nicole said the American Dream. Hey, let's go back to the American Dream though real quick. She said the American Dream is a fallacy. I'm very curious I kind of feel it, but I kind of don't. I do believe that there is, and I know that's just anything, but there's like, what do they call it? Economic mobility. There's a lot of it here
Dude,
in
look at-
America.
I mean,
There's a
look at this,
lot of
yeah.
an economic
Look
mobility
what we just
in
did.
and it's not easy. It's not, and it's yes, there are it's fucked up. There are forces that fucking there's that keep everyone down, and they don't. Yeah, but no, but there are forces that like keep everybody down and at bay. But again, like it's like, and also like I was talking about earlier, the victim culture and the powerlessness in culture and the I have anxiety and I'm depression, and because again, I've seen tons of people that don't, and it's just like and it's just like milking it, you know what I mean? Like it's. And whereas, like, a lot of people that have been suffering with their whole lives are the ones who are seizing life by the balls right now, because
They have no choice but to.
they have no choice but
Right.
to. They're done being victims, like in their own life. People are done being victims to, their trauma in the past. And
They're taking things into their own hands for once.
I think that's the American dream in some sense, because to me that's the version of the American dream I live by, is just like seizing opportunity at the cost of your own suffering, or like in spite of your own suffering.
And unfortunately,
The grind is part of it.
potentially in spite of other people suffering. Unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes that's
Straight
the
up.
case. I can't even
Sometimes
look,
you gotta
but-
do it, bro. You gotta fucking, it's fucked up. But everybody wants to say, don't get me wrong. I understand, again, as a world and U.S. history major, I understand the capitalistic horrors. Not just like it's horrifying. Don't get me wrong. When there's fucking 9-year-old kids getting their arms cut off in factories and then just get told to go home right after you're fired. Like, yeah, no, that's fucked up, Okay, and that's not, that's just one example, so I feel it. But again, look at steel, look at automobile. We have cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that shit's not like we did that. Like the fucking Ford Model T, bro. That was the first car. And now, and we look at cars now and shit, again, steel too. Like skyscrapers. We were the first fucking people that have like skyscrapers like that. Like, made out of steel, and
Nicole
like
says the way it's sold is the part that makes it a fallacy, and I think you're kind of just like talking about that right now, basically.
yeah. Like what do you mean? Like
The American dream, like how the American dream is sold. The classic definition being, a happily married couple with like 2 kids, couple of cars, a house.
Oh my God, that's the nuclear
paid off
family.
mortgage.
Not the totally
White
other
picket fence
thing,
with
bro.
the dog and
That's
everything.
that's
Fuck
like
the
such a
nuclear family,
right.
bro. Because believe me, dude, I love my parents if they happen to be watching this, whatever. But like, it's just making a family stay as a family unit like that, bro. Like, it's like that being sold as the American dream. That's not the American dream. That's not what it is. Because when I think of the American dream too, I think of like John Muir, fucking trailblazing in Yosemite. You feel me? Straight stomping through, just exploring, looking around, tripping out, and just being like, "What the fuck's out here?" Or Lewis and Clark. Because and I get it, dude. Believe me, again, I get it. I'm a Native American motherfucker. What you do? Come on, and that I think to everybody like. A lot of people are like, oh, we never learned about this in school. But it's like, a lot of the bad stuff, it's like, if you looked it up, bro, it wasn't like, I don't know. Maybe I was also around a lot of like punk rockers and conspiracy theorists and my other Native American family and shit. So, I don't know. But at the same, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, Ben says you got to be asleep to believe in the American dream.
It's the old George Carlin quote there.
No,
Right.
sorry. What I was gonna say though is that like the American, like everybody who you think of, when I think, okay, when I think of America, it's like the people I think of. It's like it's a very like, I don't know. It's like a forge your own path kind of thing. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of people do this, have this like love-hate relationship with America, because we saw all through the summer with all the riots and everything, people were willing to say, like, oh, well, the American system is all rooted in white supremacy and it's all part of the, it's all, the White House, even before the storm, the White House, there was like huge, like, kind of left-wing protests and stuff outside of the Capitol and stuff, like in whatever, like September, or I forget when it was.
There was going to be a White House siege, remember?
Right, yeah, the White House siege, yeah. And so
they were literally calling it a White House
Right.
siege on social media.
Yeah,
and then it
low-key,
got
yeah.
canceled
Yeah.
They can't
because
stop all of us.
fucking Kyle Rittenhouse popped some fools,
yeah.
and then fucking they were like, oh yeah, now we can't. Yeah.
Right.
That was literally after. That was literally what was gonna be the one after in November. Remember, that was gonna be the siege on the White House or whatever. And
Yeah.
it was like they were gonna fucking do a fat protest, and then it was Kenosha. Because it was gonna be as a response to Kenosha,
Yeah.
and then they fucking didn't. Because again, some 14-year-old. Wait, now how old is he? 17.
Yeah,
17?
Yeah, 17
I
or
don't
18.
know.
Yeah, I forgot.
I got views on that shit,
shit,
bro.
I
We
forgot.
could talk about that one
I forgot where
some other
I was
time
gonna
or
go with
this
that.
time, but I'm a very kind of 2A person. I just want to put that out there right now. I believe in that shit, and I also believe in
okay, wait.
self-defense. And the Black Panthers are a personal, they're one of my personal. You know what? I do think police, community should have their own form of police to watch after themselves. And I know like neighborhood watch is kind of like that, but I do think that communities should have their own sort of.
It all comes down to unity and organizing.
Grounded and also professional. I would say professional.
Yeah.
Not like not like people who have actual training and shit. And it's just hard. You know what I mean? And that's why I think too that
I feel like it's hard, but it might not be as hard as we make it out to be necessarily.
Well, because they want the government power to have it. Sorry, just super quick. They want the government wants you to think that the only people who could police communities is the government police.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get all that money. They're going to get all your tax money. But again, if we start getting the idea, and again, this is people get iffy about it. It's like, where it's like defund police, start going private. It's like it's faulty because, yes, you're going to get faulty shit. But also, too, though, if you get like basically, I just feel like either cops need to know this or, again, communities need to have their own police where they actually understand what it's like out here. They actually know not just from a perspective like, oh, I'm a fucking like they actually are,
Have to
understand
be
the
from
dynamic.
there.
Yeah.
Well, but how can that's the thing. It's like most in these big cities, it's like cops are spread so thin as it is. It's like, how are you going to be interconnected to this like few blocks on New York City? It's like even within that few blocks, there's fucking 100,000 people or whatever. It's like I like the idea of that. Like it's like, well, we need the cops to be connected to their communities, but it's like just the way that it is just logistically in most of the cities where the crime is like really a big problem. It's like that's just kind of what it is. Like you can't really have cops that are like, oh, what, it's like this fucking idyllic version of what's up, like saying, oh, hello, Mr. Milkman,
Yeah, that is what I believe too. Again, like I said,
look everywhere.
It's all funny because I'm watching Fuller House.
oh my god, shout out Bob Saget.
But so what you're saying is, when you're saying there should be community police, me being autistic libertarian, I'm like, so privatize.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying too.
That's what I'm
saying too. Again, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Take the because again, it sucks because you know what, dude. And to bring things back again to what I was talking about earlier, some communities have been particularly targeted, not more, but more hostilely, in a more hostile manner. And some communities are actively kept down, yes. But again, if you form, and again, that's why I said they would like a culture of hopelessness is the opposite of what we need. We need a culture of like courageousness, almost of independent, avid kind of culture, independent determination kind of thing. And again, if communities got together, and if the precedent was set, and again, if the precedent was set by white people, where it's like, oh, we can have our own private police, then again, the door, you could kick the door wide open. It's just fucked up because then again, you already know if that kind of market opens up for like a private police market. First of all, the government wouldn't like it because they want their fucking money. The sheriff department wants their money, and then second of all, no, you're good. But yeah, they wouldn't like it. You know what I mean? And it's just fucked up. But like, yes, I do think that some form of privatized independent policing.
The government has the power that it has because they have the legalized.
They have the monopoly
violence.
on police
On use of force and violence.
That's what it is. Use of force and violence, and on basically on control. Yeah. They are the only ones who can get a situation under control. That's what they are telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what policing is. A good policing is checking up on everything. This is what I consider good policing is observing, understanding, being aware of what's going on, just being aware. You feel me? And then again, de-escalating
Yeah.
you know, and even I mean,
Well,
sometimes de-escalating means
just-
whooping someone's ass. But you know what? If it comes to that, then you would figure it out as a community. You could do law, you know, report it, whatever, report it, not report it. You could figure it out. There'll be problems, but yeah, it's that needs to happen.
I think it gets a little bit more complicated and convoluted with that because police officers are trained, you know, in certain situations to escalate. I was just watching, you know, that new movie. So I forget what it's called. I'm kind of angry that I don't remember what the show's called, what the movie's called. Shoot. Anyways, so you guys are familiar with Birth of a Nation, the Nat Turner film. Same
original
actor.
one, yeah.
He is in a film where his son gets shot by the police, and he has military, you know, background, so he's able to basically take over a police station and like hold a mock trial for the person that killed his son, pretty much, you know. And you know, you kind of understand like the way that these police officers are trained. Like basically, since he drew his gun, he's trained that since he drew his gun, he can't put it back in. That's like how it's basically like what I'm saying is pretty much. The issue with police officers in this country is it's how they're trained, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the way that they, you know, profile people of color, black people, you know, based off of things that basically like kind of incite fear and incite, you know, these stereotypes. Well, you know, he is this time of the night. He's in this kind of car.
Exactly.
You know, it's two
he fits
black
the
males.
profile.
So they can't be up to anything good. They can't be up to anything
Exactly.
positive. So that incites some kind of, you know, what they would say fear. I don't think people are as afraid as, you know,
And
they-
it's because
they
people
say
don't
they
know how
are.
to.
But, you know, it's just a way to justify, you know, ultimately.
And like
what they feel
going
like
back to the way they're trained and like the profile thing, like he matches, like he's wearing a hoodie, he's this color, he's doing this, he's literally in this area where this happened, and there he is, boom, just because he's there. I've been a security guard for like the last 3 years, and just getting my guard card took like 40 hours of training, and I'm not even an armed guard. And armed guard training is quite different as far as I've heard from anybody that is an armed guard. Like as an unarmed security guard, our job is to I'm not gonna call it the company, but what our trainer told us to do was your job is to watch and snitch. That is it. Do not get involved. Do not do this and this and this. Don't do any of this. You are not a police officer. You're not of any actual authority unless if it's a non-dangerous situation, just be like, get the fuck out of here. Go. Bye. All right. And if they're not leaving, all right, cool. Write it down. Call the cops in whichever order it may be. Call the cops. That's it. That's not your job. And that's where I'm like in high school, I wanted to be in SPD and or ROTC just to become a police officer or someone in military, because I wanted to be able to fight for not only my country but my rights. When I didn't even understand it myself, you know, I'm one of those people who I consider to be like you know, just completely uneducated, but does stuff, for lack of a better term, courageously and full-heartedly without that knowledge. And like the training for a security guard was basically like within those 40 hours was basically like, okay, here's your job, and also like to get your license you need to know these things. We click on this website. This website is literally teaching me how to be a terrorist, to stop terrorism. And that's that. Like, it's just like the terrorists will do this, terrorists will do that. Your job as a security guard is to write this down, make sure this doesn't happen, and or this does happen. If this person seems suspicious, call the cops. That's their first reaction. Whereas a cop, if it were to be a cop, seeing and observing all of this stuff,
Right.
their initial like reaction is to point the gun. Like, you're a terrorist, boom.
Yeah. Well, it's because they have like qualified immunity
Exactly.
a lot of the time, where it's like almost to the sense where if you as a private security guard go
Exactly.
and shoot someone, you're gonna
I'm
go to
losing my
fucking jail.
badge. I'm losing
which is,
my
which is
my
how it
life.
should
Like,
be
I'm going to
for
jail.
anyone that's a
Like,
cop.
Exactly.
Which is almost why I'm saying where it's like, I don't know, people have this problem with, it's like, oh, like, I fucking hate the cops, you know, fuck the police, all cops are bastards. And it's like, okay, then it's like, how do we actually address this? It's like, do you really think that, you know, this big evil government system that you're fighting against is really gonna, if you just vote in the right thing, or like, they're gonna just suddenly turn it all around and like make it all work out for
yeah.
you. You got to just do it.
It just
on
makes
on your own terms.
It makes me so fucking sick how, police brutality was one of the biggest talking points. And again, as somebody, you and me have had. I'm sorry. Me and Taba have had very tense and scary situations. It was pretty scary. They were being fucking assholes, when we were kids.
A couple times.
A couple times. We had some very intense situations. I have had an experience, experiencing a, no-knock raid where they would never even mention that they were the police before they entered our house. And there was, literally SWAT teams, entering my house, my small one-story house and shit. And then me and Angel have had several, traumatic experiences, with the police as well. Exactly. And, this is one of the biggest talking points of this entire election and stuff. And people still cannot look past and see where it's like, how can you vow for these things, take the moral high ground on this political issue and still support the politicians that have literally the most tainted record on the topic that you're fighting for.
Well, see, what I don't get is the people that are like super anti-cop, but they're also super pro-lockdown, or like when the cops were cracking down on people at the Capitol riot, they're like, haha, they're not like, oh my god, that cop was like doing more than what they should have. They're like, good, or like or
no.
It's like it's not that you hate the cops, it's that you hate that the cops don't do what you want them to do. But if the cops did stuff that you like, then you're okay with the cops having that authority, because the cops are just the teeth.
No, it really is. They're an extension. They're an extension. Hey, do you remember when I forgot their names, but back in 2012, during when we were in high school still, I think we were in our senior year. I forget, they were up in Oregon. I need to look up the fucking I need to look up the incident again. I feel like a fucking jackass for not knowing the name of it. No, seriously, because it's important. Because it was like a it was a conservative militia kind of group. They were like gun activists, and they were trying to stake claim to their it was a smaller territory in like Oregon or some shit like that. And basically, the feds came in with the SWAT and just lit everybody up. And the main dude got into a shootout with them on TV. On TV, literally, he gets out his car, pulls a gun, and they light him the fuck up. And like, he pulls his gun, yeah, sure, but it's like the way they handled it was straight up. It was a no raid. It was an execution of their enemies. You feel me? Of their political enemies. And also too,
is jacked up.
It's that, and that's the feds too. But like, and then again, the feds want to extend that level of force all the way down. And again, like I said, literally just 6 a.m, bah, 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 just kicking in the fucking door. And what makes me, what's funny too is, again, they have all these guns, all these fucking people, and they can't even get in a floodgate. It's literally a deadbolt. And they're just, they're like, open the door. And we're like, no, we're like, no. And then he's like, they're like, bang, they're like, open the fucking door, and then my dad's like, okay, hey, because they start pointing the guns up. It's like, all right, they're probably gonna just light it up, if we don't open it. So we're like, hey, okay, chill out. And then the second they opened the door, he ran in and like straight up bashed my dad up into the fucking, front closet. It was weird because it was one of those things where, this is gonna sound weird too, but it's like, where I feel like you're having like almost like your awareness of the situation. You're having an out of body experience. You're seeing everything in the third person, exactly. Because I saw all of this happen. Because I heard it so vividly, first of all, because I was sitting so still. You feel me? So like my brother straight up said, I woke up to this, and he said, it's the police. Put your hands up. Don't fucking move. And and again, I heard all this. I heard all this shit. I heard my sister scream, running from him. I heard my mom screaming, and they fucking came in my room, dragged me out of bed and shit. And, like assault rifles in my face, literally like dragged me out of bed. I'm like in my fucking underwear and like a tank top, and fucking, cuffed me up. They're fucking got my dad's arm all twisted like this, got him up against the wall and shit. It's wild, like these cops are fucking out of control. And, and that's what I'm saying too. All this stuff, all those tactics were implemented by Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Yeah. And so again, especially when Breonna Taylor, like that was that shit, dude, that's what I'm saying. That is directly the one too, where I'm like, dude, and you know what else, dude? And I'll save that one for later. But yes, the Breonna Taylor and the no-knock raid and the
May she
whole.
rest in peace.
Because again, dude, my sister moved.
Yeah.
Again, my mom. She even told me too, because my sister bolted. She was like, "Oh fuck, I don't know what's going on." She's 12. My sister's 12. She bolts, and my mom runs and tries to grab her like this, just to be like, "No, I don't." Run. There's people with guns coming in, so she grabs her. That could have been it right there. You feel me? With how fucking trigger happy these motherfuckers are. That could have been it right there. Stop, don't move. Bah.
Yeah.
Like that's how fast it happens.
And it's not even so much that it's like, I feel like there's the narrative of like, oh, it's like all these cops, they wake up in the morning and they're like, I'm gonna kill someone that's a minority today. Like, it's like, I don't think it necessarily works like that most of the time. If you go to a poor, like, rural white area, most of the people that are getting arrested over there are just like Kid Rock looking white boys. Like, but, fuck, man, it's like, it's mostly just because we have all of these ridiculous ass laws in the first place, and that it's like that's their job to enforce. And it's like, would someone rather solve a real crime, like look into like a murder case, or like, oh my god, there's shooting going on over here, get over there quick? Or would they rather be like, hold up, I see this guy's got weed smoke coming out his window, here comes the easy one,
That's exactly how they are. That's
and if they can get you on weed, or they can get you on whatever, they can get you on your registrations.
And a lot of these problems come from things that they implemented,
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
they're creating,
and
they're turning regular people into a criminal class. And this is happening with conservatives too, where it's just like, oh, like a lot of times, conservatives would say in the Breonna Taylor situation, it's like, well, she shouldn't have been hanging out with her drug dealer boyfriend or whatever. But it's like, well, what if the cops came in and did a no-knock raid on you to take your fucking AR-15s? Be like, oh, and then it's like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna let those cop bastards come. It's like, dude, it's the same situation. It's like, oh, they're gonna take our guns. It's like they're gonna take our drugs. It's like it's the same situation. But I think a lot of
to make the quota, just like Nicole said, exactly. People, these police officers have quotas. They want to arrest a certain amount of people for them to get their numbers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like it's a jacked up system. The system's jacked up. It's
the reason they make it so hard and like the reason they make these cases go on for so long is because they're still doing paperwork themselves. The fact that they fired their weapon, their registered officiated police weapon, they have to make an entire paper of why they fired their weapon, how they fired their weapon, where they fired their weapon, and everything. Like, they literally have to write down all of that stuff. That's why they're like, oh shit, I shot someone. This is gonna be fucked for me, even if it's good. Even if it's a justified shooting, like, versus, like, somebody's like, oh, he's got a gun up to this kid's head. Boom, dead. All right, no, shit, I shot my weapon. Now I got to do this. Yeah. Oh, shit, my shit misfired. And now I have to write all this stuff, even if it didn't hit anybody. Like, that's where they like to egg it on and cake it in, is because it's like they're on the other side doing the same shit and updating the paperwork as the news and as the social media is bringing in new evidence. They now have to write down all this new stuff. Okay, well, in this moment, because this kid posted this video, like, in this moment, now I have to explain where I was and what was going on here, because it's from my cam video.
Yeah, well, and thankfully, because of technology, we have the opportunity to take videos. Everybody who has a smartphone is basically a journalist, or can be, like, very easily. Just turn on your camera. But yeah. No,
like, perspective is a whole.
It's crazy. Crazy
another
times.
math. Perspective is a whole nother math.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. I think we're gonna have to probably wrap it up pretty soon, because I think we got some other folks coming into the room pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know exactly when, but relatively soon. Any final thoughts? We kind of went all over the place in terms of topics here, but that's all right.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
All I'm gonna just say, peace and love. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there. Thank you guys for taking some time to just listen to what we got to say, and just positive energy, man. That's all I got to say. Just try to be positive.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the ZUDECAST. We might actually be able to, like, watch videos or do other cool things. We're gonna try to make subtle little improvements every episode to keep it from being shitty. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, I think we're gonna be doing this on Tuesdays for the most part. That seems to be a pretty good day. We might start doing them more, doing like Instagram feeds or stuff like that. I don't know. Let us know what you want us to do. We can, and if you got topic ideas, hit us in the chat. Maybe throw in like a little super chat or something. But yeah.
Also follow Cosmic Lore on Instagram. Self plug. Send him
Also,
stuff. Where's Anarchy Photography? Where's Organics?
Taba ranks, Taba_ranks as well. It's a comic book that comic book project I'm making, in collaboration with the Cosmic Lore. So
Sweet.
check it out.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's about that time.